Good morning, and I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I'm having a pretty good one. My boy's back at school. He was off last week, hence why I didn't get to make any videos. I was intending to do some, but unfortunately he was off, and he was also sick, so I had to look after him. But I'm back now, and I'm talking about Amico again. Now, last night I was watching a video by Smash JT saying that he'd heard some insider information and that some other people had heard some insider information as well, that Amico were imminently going to announce that they had gone bankrupt. And then I wake up this morning and I find this in my inbox. And you can see it here. It's Intellivision Amico news and updates. And it's from the famous Phil Adam. We all know about Phil Adam now, don't we? So, what does he have to say? Well, it's interesting, but does it tell us anything? Well, what I'm going to do is, it's quite long, but I'm going to go through and I'm going to read it and I'm going to give you my comments on what I think he's saying and what I think we can expect in the future. And spoiler alert, not much. Here's what he says. Greetings. It has been a while since our last official update, and I thank you for your patience. I hope that this update on the state of Intellivision will answer some of your questions and explain where we are and where we're heading. Remember that. I don't think it tells us a great deal, but hey, we'll get to that in a minute. When I took over as CEO of Intellivision, my goal in leadership required some tough decisions, you don't say, to ensure that we launch a quality product that no one's actually seen yet. And I know some of you in the comments are going to say, oh, well, we've seen it, we've played it, but what did you see and what did you play? Just asking. So, 1. We pulled down our investment campaign on Start Engine a few weeks after it launched in February this year. Without better visibility of our path to profitability, we felt this was the right decision in the short term. Any funds committed by Start Engine investors as part of the campaign were returned in full. Of course, this required us to take other financial measures to make up for the foregone new investment. Well, as far as I'm concerned, they pulled the Start Engine campaign because, well, basically they weren't getting any interest. Nobody was investing, or very few people were investing. There's probably a few people over on the Amico Facebook page who invested, but I doubt very many others. And the reason for that was that, well, the Intellivision's been around for a while now, and we've not seen a great deal for it. And I think that what he's saying here doesn't really paint the full picture. And I know that he's going to try and, show it in a good light. But the fact of the matter is that they were forced to take this down. Second bit here, though, is financial measures to make up for the foregone investment. Take other financial measures. Now, that, as he goes on to say, is down to reduced costs. So what's he say on 2 here? He says, we have dramatically reined in operating costs, which unfortunately required a significant reduction of staff or in staff. Now, that's a little bit worrying because if they're reining back on staff, where have they reined back? I'm not sure that they had that many staff to begin with, so I'm not sure how they're going to get on with a reduced number of people, but obviously they're going to have to reduce their wage bill. I suspect Phil Adams still getting paid, and I suspect Tommy Tallarico is probably still seeing some money out of it, and maybe a few other high-ups. Presumably they're still paying the staff who are still there. I hope they are, because those guys don't deserve to lose money as a result of what, to my mind, has been at the very least mismanagement. Our resources are focused on engineering and testing to ensure we have a quality system. Well, excuse me for saying this, but this has been years. Shouldn't they have been engineering and testing 2 years ago? Or at least a year ago? what have they been doing in the interim? What, since that, from then till now? It says, as we can't succeed by producing anything less. Well, no, but all you've produced is less. We've not actually seen any real systems, certainly not any manufactured systems. They're just cobbled up systems that you've had at these shows and that development kit that you had on the faux unboxing that you did a month or so ago. Then it says 3. We are working with game development partners to license classic Intellivision intellectual properties, IPs, for publication on other platforms. Okay, good. Maybe you'll make a little bit of money out of that and you can put that back into developing the Amico. But to be honest, at this stage, how many millions have you had? And we've seen nothing for it. So any little amount of money you're going to get from these classics, it's just going into that black hole, isn't it? You've got investors that you need to pay off. You've taken out a huge loan. You're probably paying out more in interest than you're going to get from these classics if you manage to, to get them out there. And I know there's some Intellivision games on the Evercade, and they've just released Evercade, the Intellivision Disc 2 or Cartridge 2. But how much money are you going to make from that Intellivision? How much? Not enough, I would suspect. These licensing deals will help fund continued development of Amico. Yeah, well, as I've said, I doubt that. A broader distribution of Intellivision classic IP will also help raise awareness of Intellivision while not directly competing with Amico. Because of Amico's unique controllers and family-focused gaming adaptations. Yeah, great. This has always been good in theory, but, as I say, I keep saying we haven't seen it yet. Not really. Many people in the retro gaming community have embraced us because of our family focus and the fact that all our games, including retro titles, are adapted to group play. Well, great. So are some of the Switch titles, and so are some of the Xbox titles and some of the PlayStation titles. Not many, to be fair. But anyway, look, that's another argument. While Amico's broad catalogue will continue to include retro titles, our mission has been and remains cross-generational in-home family entertainment. Marketing blurb. What's that actually mean? Cross-generational, getting your family in all across. I mean, the console that really did that well was the Wii. And I'm not sure that the Intellivision is going to offer the same level of quality and capability as the Wii. And how long ago did the Wii come out? I mean, I did pre-order it. I was hoping it was going to be good, but it was hope. It was hope. It wasn't, I wasn't all in. Unfortunately, some people are all in and they think that this is going to change gaming. And I've said this before, it's not. Even if it does come out, and I have my doubts, but we'll get to that in a minute. 4, we've begun a test production run of Amico that includes every aspect of the product, including packaging. Well, when it's being released, packaging will be important and, it wants to look good on the shelves. But at this stage, I don't care. What I care about is the actual hardware and the games running on it. I'll go back to what I said before. Why are they doing this now? Why has it taken this long? I know, look, I know we've had COVID, but while COVID's been on, the Evercade's released 2 consoles, and there's another one coming at the end of the year. They seem to manage. So what's Intellivision been doing? I mean, it's not exactly like they're using cutting edge technology, is it? So this, to me, just strikes me as they're just stringing people along. But again, we'll get into that in a minute. This is first and foremost an assessment of our manufacturing approach and overall quality of the delivered product. It is critically important to show our current future investors, the ones who are pulling out, partners and customers, that we have built a sound platform that delivers on the in-home family experience, which requires our immediate focus on value engineering and hardening of the platform. These units, I'm losing the will to live here. These units should be completed in the next few weeks. Again, what have they been doing in the meantime? In all the time they've had, what have they been doing? This doesn't fill me with confidence. I'm sorry, but it doesn't. What have they been doing? Have they not been building test runs before? This suggests that this product's been smoke and mirrors up till now. And why should we believe it's any more than that now? We are slowly processing refund requests. The public's uncertainty of our status in the last few months have understandably led to an influx of pre-order refund requests, you don't say. Because of the reduced staff and financing requirements for continued operation, our responses to the processing of these requests has been delayed. Be patient, you'll get your money. I'm sorry, but this looks like a deflection again. You know, oh, don't worry, you will get your money. We're still here. We're going to keep going, and you know, to try and maybe stem the flow of people asking for refunds. That's what this reads like to me. It reads like we're trying to stop people asking for refunds because that's causing us even more problems. And, you know, they're trying to cling on and keep the company running for whatever reason. But I'm sorry. I'm maybe I'm being overly cynical. You know, I've got me grumpy old Git cup this morning. Mr. Grumpy, who's got coffee in it. Because I needed waking up because I've read this a couple of times now. It says, rest assured that our intention is to honour all refund requests. Why should we believe you? Seriously, why should we believe Phil Adam that they intend to order refund requests? Maybe they do. Maybe they don't. But his words mean nothing because they've made so many promises at this stage and carried out how many of them? None. As far as I can tell. We've seen nothing. Apart from some cardboard game holder things. That's it. Oh no, some hats and t-shirts. We will allocate a portion of all new funding, good luck getting that, and staff time to winding down the refund queue. Of course you will. While our primary focus is funding and completing a quality product ready for manufacturing. Well, we haven't managed it so far, have you? I know I keep going on about this, but they haven't. It's been years now. To make sure we see your request, please submit to support@intellivision.com. Well, I know one person said that they'd received their refund recently after badgering them for weeks. So it seems like you're going to have to go on and on and on and on at them to get your refund. Now, when I processed my refund earlier in the year, I put it on Friday, got it on the Monday, I think it was. So they were processing pretty fast then, but they're not now. I can tell you that. Some people are finding it very, very difficult to get their refunds. And they say this is down to reduced staff. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. 6. We will focus our initial mass production on fulfilling pre-orders and supplying our 2 major distribution partners. Our initial mass production. There's no sign of any mass production. Has anyone else heard of any factories mass producing Amicos? And they said they're what? Where is it? Up here. I'm trying to have a look at it. I can't find it. They were making test runs. Well, are they doing test runs or are they doing mass production? If they're doing test runs, they're not going into mass production yet because they haven't produced something that is viable for mass production, have they? That's the way I would see it. Anyway, you're not doing test runs prior to test runs while you're doing mass production, are you? Because you could end up with something in the mass production that's a fail point, and the consoles don't work properly, or they fail after a few weeks or something. The test runs are to make sure that the product is viable and that it's going to go out and people are going to be able to play it for years to come and not have problems with it. Or that's part of it. At least, make sure the operating system works and the games load up properly and all the rest of it. I mean, there's all many things to take into account, and you won't be doing all that while you're going into mass production phase. So even if they are intending mass production at this stage, that's a hell of a long way off. And anyone who thinks otherwise is living in cloud cuckoo land. The focus will remain on direct orders until our cost structure can support the margins required for retail channels. In other words, you've just contradicted yourself. We will focus our initial mass production on fulfilling pre-orders and supplying our 2 major distribution partners. The focus will remain on direct orders until our cost structure can support the margins. So you're not supplying your distribution partners, are you? It's going to be pre-orders. That one really rubs me up the wrong way because it's contradictory. There's 2 sentences there that are like, we're going to supply our distribution partners. And then, no, we're not. We're going to put it out to direct orders. If there's any of those left now. There's a few over on the Amico Facebook page. I suppose they're still waiting. Obviously, the markets continue to be somewhat volatile with rising inflation, rising energy costs, and lingering supply chain issues, that affect all manufacturing businesses. Yeah, they do. And look, I'm sorry about that happened to you guys, happened to everyone else. It's poor, but as I said, the Evercade's managed. This has impacted both our costs and pricing. Yeah, you're not kidding. The pricing's ridiculous now. Who's going to buy it? What, $400 and something or something with one controller is what you're talking about now? I'm sorry, but that's the casual market that you're looking at is not going to pay that for it. I'm sorry, they're not. And it has required us to narrow our initial distribution strategy. In other words, you're going back to pre-orders. But are you? Because there's no sign of any manufacturing carrying on. I've already said this. There's no sign of any manufacturing happening. So when are these pre-orders coming? There's no dates here. When are these coming? Fulfilling pre-orders. When? August? September? October? November? 2024? 2025? When? Give us some idea. The reason you're not giving us any idea is because you have no idea. Or if you do have an idea, the idea is that this is not coming out. This is just stringing people along again. Many challenges lie ahead for the business, and we appreciate our investors, partners, and customers for your patience and support. Well, my patience ran out ages ago, and so did a lot of other people's. We will be formally announcing some new IP licensing partnership deals soon, as well as showing off the Amico units currently in production. Will you? What Amico units currently in production? I thought that you were in pre-production process. Oh, I'm doing it again. I'm going over the same old ground again, but come on. Amico units in production? Where? Where are these Amico units in production? The last time we saw one, you did the unboxing. You didn't even have a finished UI. So these units will be shared with partners, investors, and a select few in the media. In other words, so they're not going out to customers. You're gonna cherry pick some guys on YouTube and give them something, and they're all gonna go, "Ooh, it's wonderful," and because they're all in the hope that that'll generate some interest. That's the way I see it anyway. I'm not getting one. As more production units become available, we will broaden the distribution to media outlets that cover our target demographic. What, the Amico Facebook page? Maybe they might get some. You never know. There might be a few knocking around. Pre-production units. Because this isn't in production. I'm sorry, but it isn't. This is not in production. This is bullshit. thank you for your support, and thank you to our internal team and external developers that work tirelessly to create a family gaming experience on Amico that brings people of different ages and skills together in group play, or over on the Facebook page Group Think. Because that's what this has become now. The people who are still all in with this are engaging in groupthink. They're so engaged with this product, they can't hear anything bad about it. And I feel sorry for the guys over on the Amico Facebook page. I really genuinely do, because I'm pretty sure. I mean, some of the things they've said and done to people aren't particularly nice, but they don't, on the whole, strike me as bad people. They just strike me as people who are so keen to see this, and they've gone so far down this thing with the sunk cost fallacy, and desperately wanting this to come out, that they can't let go. And so they're just being taken advantage of at this stage, and have been for some time now. And I don't believe a word of this. I think, going back to what I said right at the beginning of this video, some 20 minutes ago, Smashed AT was talking about an insider saying they're going bankrupt. And somebody else was saying that an insider was saying they're going bankrupt. I think they're going bankrupt. I do. And is that a surprise to anyone? Really? Or most people? I don't think it is. Anyway, look. Mr. Grumpy's going to drink his coffee. Excuse me. And I will speak to you guys in the next one. Sorry, it's been a while. Like I say, my lad was ill last week, so what can you do? Anyway, as I say, bye.